And the recording has started. Wonderful. Hello, ladies.
Hi, how are you?
And hello, everyone. Welcome to PassionPod episode 3. And we will have a special guest, Jodi Ellen Malpas, joining us today, which is very exciting. And for those who don't know, I'm Lauren, and I'm the Director of Development at Passionflix. And
I'm Allie, and I'm the Director of Marketing and PR.
And I'm Tosca, and I'm the founder and CEO of Passionflix, and occasionally direct movies.
Woo! Awesome. So now that everybody knows who we are, could we give little updates on what we're doing this week for Passionflix, as we're all working from home?
Yeah, Allie, go ahead.
Well, as you all saw last week, we launched a little campaign called Finding Jessie Ward. So really excited about that. We're hoping that a lot of you can jump in and help us find the perfect Jessie using that hashtag Finding Jessie Ward. And we'll talk a little bit on today's podcast. But I've been all things this man, reading the script and getting excited and thinking ahead about how we're going to do our big character reveals and all of that good stuff. So that's what I've been working on.
That is pretty exciting, actually.
That's awesome. I've been
Lauren?
I'm finishing up Kristen Proby books, and I'm going to finalize which ones we're going to ask to get from her, because she's brilliant. And I also received quite a few short stories from Aurora Rose Reynolds that I'm hoping to read for possible quickies. Because I know, Tosca, you and I talked about that. Things will probably open up slowly after COVID-19. And the first thing we can probably do is like 10 people gatherings, 20 people gatherings, like not full 80 to 100 person film sets, like feature film sets,
right.
But we could do a quickie kind of right out the gate. So I'm going to try and have one prepped for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love her. And I'm very excited about Kristen Proby. Yeah. I love that there are so many books of hers that you love, and that it's hard to make the decision.
It's so hard.
The difficulty that we have, right? And it's like this really great dilemma that we have. Yeah. That we have so many books that we can choose from. I'm like looking at my hair. Sorry, guys.
It's awesome with video calls, but you can't not look at yourself.
It's quarantine hair. Quarantine hair, guys. But it's this incredible dilemma that we have, which is I really can't handle this. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. You look great.
And everyone would know on set, I am this person that's like so anal with my actor's hair. Like if anything's, I just stop. I stop all production. I stop all filming, and then I just fix their hair, and then we go back to it. Julio can attest to that. But yes, this wonderful dilemma that we have, that we actually have so many incredible books that we get to read, and then hopefully possibly choose from to adapt. It's so that's a pretty exciting job you have there, Lauren.
Oh yeah, it's really the best job ever. When I first told people about like joining Passionflix, first as like an intern and then as a PA/your assistant. When I first joined on and I became full-time, I told all my friends, and they're like, so you found the perfect job for you? You already read a ton of romance? And I was like, yes, I did. And then with this recent promotion, it's even better. And they're like, Jesus, congrats, that's great.
Exactly, you get to read really awesome romance novels. And then
really awesome romance novels. And it's a dream come true. So thank you, T, for this awesome opportunity. It's been a blast so far.
Thank you.
And I see...
I'm still working on Gabriel's Inferno part 2 and 3 and 1. So part 1, we're doing color timing still. So basically what we do is we adjust color and make sure all the color matches on part 1. And then we're finalizing sound and music for part 1, which is very specific.
That's exciting.
We will have a soundtrack for Gabriel's Inferno. Just gonna take a little while for me to collect all the songs, but we'll have it. And then editing part 2 and 3, which Lauren and Allie haven't seen yet.
Oh, I'm dying for it.
So cruel.
But maybe very soon.
Because usually if we're all in the office, Margie will be like, okay, cool, I think we're going to screen it for you guys today. And we'll set up wine and cheese, and that'll be the end of our day is watching that movie. Yeah. And we can't do that right now.
I know. No, not yet. Although I think we're going to have to get like a big space for us to just view it, because you guys have to view it before I lock picture. I can't actually lock picture on any movies without Ali and Lauren seeing it. And Lauren's my she's my gauge for sure, because when Lauren watches a movie, she sits there and she's like
all the emotions.
Oh, and as soon as you have that, as a filmmaker, I'm like, oh, she likes it. Oh, it's great. And then you have Ali at the end going, that was great. I can't stop thinking about it. That was great. I can't stop thinking about it. And then you're like, oh, I did my job. I feel great.
Or Margie will turn to you, or you'll turn to Margie and be like, she didn't react to that part. We got to change it, you know?
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, no,
very
specific. It's super fun. I see that Miss Jodi Ellen Malpas is ready to join us.
Oh, great.
In our little waiting room. So let me admit her now.
Cool.
And she's joining us all the way from London.
Jody?
Jody!
Hey!
You look great.
Nice shirt.
Something weird just happened then. I thought I'd cut you off.
No. Slight delay. It's weird. So we have with us, everyone, the amazing New York Times #1 bestselling author Jodi Ellen Malpas, here to discuss her brilliant books, The Protector, which we've already adapted, and the upcoming This Man series, which everyone's going gaga over. They're really excited. So thank you for joining us today, Jodi.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Ali. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to meet you for the first time.
I know.
Yeah, we haven't met. We've only talked over email.
Yeah. I know. Awesome. I'm seeing your face around the Passionflix book.
Jody, is there any way you can get a little closer to your microphone?
Oh, am I a bit quiet?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, if you come even closer to your computer, we can hear you just a little better.
Let me just move my computer forward.
You look beautiful.
You look gorgeous.
Quarantine life is good for you.
I dress for the occasion.
Oh, I love the shirt.
That's a great shirt.
It's perfect.
How are you?
I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just not going to touch anything.
You're fine. You're perfect right the way you are, so it's great.
Oh, how is everyone?
Yeah, we're good. We're
good. Busy.
Yeah,
which is, I guess, better than not being busy during this time.
Well, yeah, it's you just got to keep yourself busy. I think mental well-being is such an important factor here, and it'd be easy to just roll out of bed and stay in your pajamas all day, and you've got to give yourself some kind of routine, which I've tried really hard to do and managed so far. So fingers crossed.
You've been doing a lot of decorating.
Yeah, your desk recently,
finally.
Right?
It's funny, isn't it? Because I mean, This Man was the first book, obviously, I wrote, and I took my interior design background and gave that to Ava, so that's where she got it from. And since Ava, I've not really been able to do much decorating because my life's just kind of gone. So yeah, it's been nice to get back to something that I love, not as much as writing, but it's a close second.
Yeah,
that's super exciting. That's awesome.
So speaking of This Man,
mm-hmm.
You adapted the book for us in script format. You wrote the script for us.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It's a very different style of writing. I'm a very wordy girl, as my editor always moans. But I love building that, that's the whole scene. I want my readers to picture every tiny detail because it just puts them in it. And so many of my readers say, and it's such a massive compliment, and it really makes me smile, is that they always feel like they're in the story, that they're watching it. And obviously when you're writing a script, you've got none of that. So you literally lose like 80% of your words because you don't need it. The scene's going to be built. You're going to see it on the screen. You lose all of the internal monologue from the characters. All you've got, you depend on the actors to portray all of those feelings. And when you're writing, he scoffs and she rolls her eyes, and it's all gone. So you literally have the dialogue. And it was really hard to adapt to, okay, I don't need to put that he's rolling his eyes, and I don't need to put that she's got her hands on her hips, and and that bit was really hard. But you depend on the actors to read books, to get the feel of the characters, and to put all of that in there for you. So that was challenging, but I still managed to make it 200 pages long.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we'll work on that part. I actually really like it when you put things in or when people put things in like hands on the hips and things like that, because it helps me to really, because I tell my actors they have to do exactly that. If it says you put your hand on your hips, you put your hand on the hips, and that's it. Yeah. And what I noticed in the script that you sent over was that I actually felt all those nuances in there. I felt, she's rushing through the room, or that slight awkwardness between Ava and Jesse at the beginning when she first goes over to the manor and he introduces her to Drew and Sam. It's like, and because you put in there, he's looking at her while talking to them, and that all those elements really help when I direct the movie to
That's exactly why I did it, Tosca.
I love it. Thanks. So I appreciate that. But we're going to have to trim some of that dialogue to. There's the words repeat sometimes. Sorry. Sometimes we can repeat, and so we don't need to repeat because it's film, and film allows we actually can carry over scene to scene, and each scene has a very specific reason for that scene to be there. And so if you put the line in one scene, you don't actually need it in the next scene. So we'll work on that together and maybe bring it down to like 190 pages.
Love it. This is the problem, though, I think, with this man in particular. Out of all of the novels we could be doing, this man has so many notorious, famous, loved scenes that readers literally know word by word. And that's what freaks me out. It's just like there's always going to be some casualties when it comes to adapting a book to screen. That's inevitable. You couldn't possibly put everything in it. But it's just like I'm writing the script and I'm thinking, that can't go, and that can't go, and oh God, what about that bit? And it's like editing a book in the first instance, when you've got your first draft and it's all there, and then your editor comes along and says, well, we can lose that. And at first, like, you sulk, you have or sulk for a week, don't talk to anyone. But then when I've come round, I'm like, okay, she's talking sense, we can do this, we can work with this. So yeah. So if I don't talk to you for a week, Tosca, you'll know why.
Totally understand. I'm expecting it. But I think also, Jody, maybe just because of the experience that you had with working on The Protector, and knowing that Ali and Lauren and I are actually quite big fans of this man, hopefully you won't feel that. The exciting part for me is that I feel like if I give the script to Lauren and Ali, they'll read it and go, hey, this part really needs to come back in. Yeah. And I trust the Passionflix fans for knowing that. But then also I read it and I go, this maybe I can take out, but this part really has to be in there because I need it as a fan. And so
yeah, I trust you wholeheartedly, you know that.
Thank you. I know Lauren has some questions from our founding members and stuff.
I do, yes, and a couple of other questions as well. I thought we could talk really quickly, because we're going to maybe start casting soon for this man. What can you guys talk about a little bit what the Protector casting process was like, and then what was it like actually meeting in person, Jake and Camille? Super
wow. Sure, go ahead, Jody.
I don't know whether it was my first time. I was a casting virgin. Tosca has obviously done it hundreds and hundreds of times. She knows the process. I found it very stressful, and I don't mind saying that anyone who knows me, fans, and it would be no big surprise that this man is my baby. You know, all of your books are your baby, but this man is the baby. So thinking about how stressed I was with the Protector, it's kind of like making me really anxious for this man. Just because of the pressure, I think. There was a real broad spectrum of potential Jakes in terms of my reader's vision.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie is quite specific.
Very different.
But I've always said, for me, it's the acting. It's always got to be the acting, because a good actor can do any character you throw at them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was stressful, but I'm going to take lots of Valium and I'll be fine.
It was very interesting for the Protector, you know, because here we are searching all of the UK for for Jake, and we get this person that sends in their audition tape from Los Angeles, I think he was in at the time, and you're like, okay, well, he kind of does something. There's something about him that made us excited, or made me excited. And then I sent him over to Jody, and Jody's like, oh my, he's the voice of in the audibles. And we're like, what? She's like, I don't know if he'll want to do it, because he changed his name for the audible, so maybe he won't want to do it. And I was like, well, if he's auditioning for the part and he doesn't need to audition, so a lot of actors are often, you know, they're offer only, they don't actually have to audition. So if he's like auditioning, taking notes, doing it again, auditioning, he really wants this part. So, and then we find out that he changed his name to something like his mother's maiden name or something like that, because it was something about or some other issue that he had to change his name for the audibles. But I can't remember what the reason was. Do you remember?
No, a lot of actors do. They narrate under different names. Yeah. But Dermot obviously narrates under Owen McMahon, and McMahon is my maiden name, and it was just all really, really, really weird.
Really weird.
Okay, him.
Exciting, yeah. What was exciting for me was that, having narrated the book, Dermot knew the character, and he nailed that audition. He absolutely nailed it, like to the point where I was just like WhatsApping Tosca, and I was just like, you know, you got to get him, and we got him.
Yeah.
Thank God. After searching the UK, we found him in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out well in the end.
And then the same for Camille, because we really wanted Emma Rigby. Right. And the concern, of course, was that she'd just been in another Passionflix movie, but she was just so great for the part, and we're like, I can't really see any other person playing this. And
yeah, that was hard, wasn't it? Because it was like, she was perfect, and that was when I had to have a stern word with myself, because I've always said that it's the right person and everything else doesn't matter. And I had to take that stance then and put everything aside and ask Tosca to hire the right person.
Thank you. Needless to say, very, very stressful, the whole experience, because, you know, it is this thing where you're like, because you have this image of who the person is in your mind, and then you go out there and you try and get them, you try and find that person, and then when you do see that person, you're like, I think they're great, but what if they're not, and what if they don't like it? And then you actually stress out over, you know, what if the reaction to the actors for the fans is not the same as our reaction to them. But all we can do is trust you and me, I guess, and the Passionflix fans. And
I think a lot of the time fans have such a very clear distinct image of who they think should play that character. And it would be fair to say that you and I did as well when we were casting Jake, and there were auditions that looked like Jay to a T. It was like got you all excited and, you know, goosebumps, and then the audition just wasn't right for whatever reason. It just wasn't right. So it's a minefield, isn't it, of, you know, and you do really have to do what's right.
Yeah, and because it is hard, because they do look the part, and so a lot of people will talk to us about, and they suggest all these models or actors or reality TV people, and it's great, and they do look the part, but as soon as they start saying the lines off the script, it's impossible for me to work with them, because I'm like, they can't act, and if they can't act,
I wasn't going to be that brutal.
Yeah.
Able to pull off the nuance of these great characters, then they're just going to be looking the part, but they can't speak. And if you can't look at someone and truly have a connection or have a chemistry with somebody, with the other actor, it's just not going to work.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I see on social media a lot that the people I see pop up the most with the hashtag Jessie Ward are Christian Hogue and Jesse Pavelka, who are both.
I don't know how many times I've told people he's not an actor.
Yeah, and Christian, from what I understand, is a model, but does not act. And so they look the part, but
great.
They're not. I mean, they're beautiful. I've enjoyed seeing their names pop up in my feed a lot, but they're not actors. So we, you know.
You can't make someone be able to be someone like a look. It's impossible. So yeah, it's hard, but Jesse Pavelka, I think, is probably number one spot for fan choice.
Yes.
Every time I see fans post pictures of him, he's got the Jesse look, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
but he's a sports professional. He's a personal trainer. You know? It's, you know, if he was an actor, amazing.
Yes.
So we just got to put it to bed, move on.
I saw a lot of people also say Alexander Skarsgård.
Yes,
I
mean, I had a chat with him today, Tosca. He said, just call him.
Great. Yes. He is definitely my Jesse.
My Jesse would be Charlie Hunnam.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. Also somebody I can't get.
I know, that's
more gruff than I thought.
What about Alex Pettyfer?
Do you know what? I always thought he was quite a pretty boy, but there are some images that he does look, you know, because Jesse's he's rough around the edges, isn't he? He's rugged.
Alex also isn't the right height. He's 5'11".
This is another thing that I freak out. Height things. Oscar emailed me a number of times with auditions. My first question would always be, how tall is he?
Yep.
It matters.
It doesn't matter. But it's tough because especially a lot of the actors in England are 5'10".
A lot of the actors in general are 5'10".
Right. That's true.
Except for the actors that I hire. Then I hire all these 6'4" men in almost every one of our movies. They're 6'4", and our women are 5'1". So I think we talked about this before, but it's like they're talking to each other, and it's like this.
Remember, we had to put poor Emma, on a fruit cart in one of the scenes because she was so tiny and Dermot was this giant man. It just her neck must have been craning every time she was talking to him. So she was standing on a little wooden box better to get her up a bit.
Oh yeah, when we were filming in, I think it was Surrey, when we were filming all the countryside stuff, like his house and her mother's house in the same location, they had to walk from the car to inside the gate for his house. And I know on the closer shots, they lined up like a steady stream of apple boxes that she kind of jumped up on and then walked across so that it looked like she was higher. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Like wearing wedges as well, wasn't she?
Yes, because huge wedges, like platform wedges to get her taller. Oh.
Ground was so uneven, and I think in fact one time she did actually go over on her ankle. She was going from somewhere to somewhere. The ground, all the pebbles and everything, and every time she was walking I was just like on the edge of my seat waiting to catch her.
Yeah. And that scene when she runs away from her father and like gets onto the boat and stuff, she's running in like platform Skechers. Yeah. Like high heel Skechers. I'm like, this is so impressive that she could just belt out in this really fast.
I did a movie with Emma many years ago called Cinderella Christmas.
All right.
And that's how I met her. She played Cinderella, or Angie, I think her name was in the movie. And she had to do that Cinderella thing where she runs down the stairs with the dress. And of course, the first time we shot it, she runs down the stairs and falls flat on her face.
Oh. I've got a habit of that. She did it in the underground car park, the boulder, the big bollard at the end of the car, and she turned around to walk off and just went straight over it. We were all like, gets on with it. I've been rolling around crying like a baby. And she just like takes her hair and gets on.
Yep, she got up, ran down the stairs, gets up, runs down the Butler's Wharf. Yeah.
Oh, Butler's Wharf. Yeah. Jody, do you have any fun memories from set? Because I believe you were on set with us almost every day. What's your which was incredible, but it was so funny.
I remember being absolutely gutted because we had to postpone filming for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
And it just so happened that the 2 days that we initially had off from filming, I was due to go out to Germany, to Frankfurt, for my German publisher for the Frankfurt Book Fair. And then because of something happening in the schedule, we had to change the filming days. So I had to fly out to Germany when you were recording the lingerie shop scene.
Oh,
and I was just so devastated that I missed it.
You didn't have to stand in the pouring rain. It was pouring rain that day.
It was a miserable day, wasn't it? It was miserable.
Terrible.
Yeah. So I was very disappointed about that. But I've got lots of fond memories from that. So many. It was just it's such a whirlwind, and it went so fast as well. And yes, I was there every day. But it was for me, and I know you guys appreciated that. It was, how many people can say they've been on a movie set, and how many people especially can say that they're on a movie set for the film of their book. And I'm one of these people that in life you have got to do everything you possibly can. So yeah, sorry. that's how I was there every day. I was like, I changed my work schedule. I stopped writing a book. I was on set proofreading another book that was due to be published. I just wanted to take it all in, and I'm so glad I did. I learned so much.
Yeah, I loved having you there. It was great.
Oh, good.
It's one of those things. I love having the authors with me on set because a lot of times we'll direct something and we'll create a scene, and then you're the first audience member. Right? So it's your book, this so well, you're the first fan, basically. And so after I've directed it, I can turn around and look at you and go, was that kind of what you pictured?
I know, I was either crying or I think I even laughed before you called cut, because when Jake kicked the coffee table in the...
Oh God, yes.
The model set.
Hard not to laugh.
Yeah. And there was and I remember another time where we were due to go into one of the intimate scenes, and we had to, Tosca said, there was a couple of things that just weren't going to work on screen, and we left set, wrapped the day, went straight back to the hotel and rewrote the scene for the next day to make it work. And I remember we were going to go. We went to the pub to do that, and we walked in, and Dermot was sitting there, and we were like, sorry, I just swore. So we couldn't do it there and then. I was like, oh, this is going to be awkward, rewriting a scene with Jake sitting here. We can't do that. And so we went back to the hotel and tweaked it.
Yeah.
Oh,
right, I remember that hotel. Wow.
Yeah, that was somewhat, wasn't it?
What it wasn't my favorite hotel that I've stayed in.
Well, I was on my own. I was fine, but with the children, I was just like, oh man. I remember hearing them running up and down the corridor. It was almost like, just let them run. Just let them run.
Yes. Once again, guys, I take my kids everywhere we go. So they have been on every film set. So while we're filming, the beautiful country scene that, Cami goes to when she goes and sees, visits her dad, and he's having the big country scene. Just before that, my kids have been running around that whole place with the dog that was there, and
Nice. Lots of kids in that place.
That place was amazing. It was somebody's home, and it was basically like 5 different locations in our movie. It was Jake's home. It was Camille's mom's home. It was Dad's garden. It was our war zone.
Yeah, it was just vast. Every corner you turned, there was something else.
Yeah.
The gardens were just beautiful, and the dog. It was the dog that was running around, like he'd run in. Little Maisie, who played Charlotte in one of the last scenes. Bless her. She was pirouetting onto the screen, and the dog just comes out of nowhere and ruins everything.
Oh my gosh. And I know for the Surrey location, but also a couple of different locations, we had some of our local founding members come to visit set, which was really cool. And I was wondering if you guys could talk a little bit about what it was like meeting some of them.
Well, I love it. I love the founding members coming to set. I think it's one of the most fun days that I have on set, because I get to see all of these incredible fans that are so excited about the work, and some of them want to be on screen, and some of them just want to sit behind the monitor and watch. But again, it's like having that audience member right there with you, and so as they see me direct something, I then turn to them and they're like, oh my god, this is so great. So I love it. Big fan of that.
That's awesome.
How about you, Jody?
Yeah, it's what I found was really lovely, and you must feel this all the time, Tosca, is being able to offer that to women to come and join us on set. So many of your fans, my fans, never get that opportunity, and it's something that sometimes I think, I never took it for granted, but after being on set for 6 or 8 weeks, you become accustomed to what's happening, the routine. But for them, like that one day, they're going to remember that for the rest of their life, and I think that is really, really special.
Yeah,
they're already lining up for this man.
Oh,
they all want to visit that set.
Chomping at the bit. They're like, when
let's see it in bubble wrap or something.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Usually
everyone was very respectful with of course with Julio and Gabriel.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, I think a lot of them, like they talk the talk, and then when they're there, they're a little bit like, oh god, it's actually them.
I know.
That's awesome. And so a little bit more about this man, to jump more to this man. And I think you guys might have already touched on this. What level, a founding member named Patty asked, what levels of scared and excited are you to bring this man to life? To Tosca and Jody.
My one word is terrified.
Yeah, I am scared but more excited, because I think that we're going to do a really great job. And I think that every time we, every movie that we make at Passionflix, and every time I get this incredible opportunity to work with a great author and a great book, I'm excited about what we can bring to life, and I know what we can do and what we can't do, and that's why it was quite beneficial to do The Protector first, because it was the first time that we were shooting in London. It was a very different experience. It was a very hard experience because filming in the UK is very different to filming in America. So in the US, we film for 12 hours a day. In London, they film for 10 hours a day. And I know that it seems like that's a very long day in the US, but it's actually very standard. We work 6 hours, we have lunch, we work 6 hours. And that's how it works in the US. And it's across the board everywhere you go, same in Canada. But when you go to Europe, it's this strange, the strange hours that's not really set in stone, but it's 10 hours plus a 1 hour lunch, that's for sure. But when lunch is, we're not really sure. And so it's sort of like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. And I like things to be very, just tell me the rules. We'll just all play by those rules. But at the same time, when you don't shoot those additional 2 hours a day, that's an entire day at the end of the week. That's a full day of filming that we would otherwise be able to get in the US. So while I can film a movie in the US in 15 days, the same movie in the same length of time will take 25 days to film in London. And because of that, the cost is significantly higher. The stress is higher. It's a much bigger experience. And so that's something that we learned on The Protector.
Didn't we, Jess? I remember Tosca, like the frustration for Tosca, it was so frustrating, and I understood that because I think like our laws are a lot different to yours as well, and the red tape was just, even I was exasperated by it. It's like, no, you can't go on that part of the pavement, only this part of the pavement, and what? There was one scene outside the cafe where, to Tosca's point, those 2 extra hours are just invaluable, where it was getting dark. We needed to get that scene because the permit for that particular location was going to expire. We wouldn't be able to go back there. And it was so stressful. And I think, asking actors to rush something is just not the best thing in the world at all.
As well.
No, you actually have to try and keep the actors as calm as possible. So you try and not let them know at all that you're running out of time. So you're like, you're wonderful. Everything's going to be great. Don't you worry about it. Just you go ahead and do that scene. Everybody run over here. Quick. No. Everything's wonderful.
They're the last ones to know.
Just go ahead and perform. Oh, it was beautiful. We're going to do another take. I love it. Let's try this. Hurry. So that's me on set, basically. Just sort of like.
There were times where I was just scared to death of you. It was just like, I'm just going to stay out of the way because that woman is under pressure.
Right. But yeah, so that's the one thing that we've learned. And so now we're trying, because of that experience with The Protector, which ended up being a great movie, and I'm very happy with it. And and the fans really seem to love it. We because we learned so much about how to film in the UK, I'm able to now go with this man and go, well, keep in mind, The Protector the script was 100 pages and this man is 200 pages.
Keep saying that.
The Protector, we shot in 23 days. And so that means we're going to need double that amount of time to film this man if the script is double. But at the same time, it was very stressful to even just shoot it in 23 days. We should have shot it the way that it works in the UK. We should have shot it in 30 days. So it's this weird situation that we're in where we're like trying to see how I can film this man in 30 days, but it's a 200-page script and I'm shooting in the UK. What can I do to make that? So that's what we're facing now on a production level, but it's still going to be really exciting. Right now, we're looking at filming in Ireland.
Nice.
But this morning I started Googling Scotland, and really at the end of the day, it comes down to where we can get the best manner, where we can get the the locations that we need. Of course, Jodi only writes scripts that take place in summer, so we have 2 months.
Let me tell you, I set it in winter because I thought to myself when I started writing it, Tosca always moans that my books are in summer, so I'm going to put this one in winter.
Nice.
And sorry, which book is this one?
Which one?
Which one's in winter?
I can't tell you. I'm not announced it yet.
Oh, yes! Next, a Passionflix movie.
Amazing. And for talking about the manor, and this is a bit of a spoiler warning for people who haven't read this man, and if you haven't, you should do it right now. But Jodi, what kind of research did you do ahead of time for this man, and particularly about where did the manor come from? Where did the idea of the manor come from?
Research, absolutely zero. I did so many things wrong with that book. I don't even know how it ever become the bestseller. Because at the time I was just like, I started writing this man when I was 30, I think. Yeah, must have been about 30. And I wrote it, it's no big secret that I wrote it in secret, because it was just for me. I was just writing, there was no need to make sure that was accurate or this was accurate or, so I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And then the manor comes, I think, something so idyllic on the outside that could harbour so much kind of illicitness. It's just like the perfect countryside manor. The sort of the manor as he has become known. It's like paints a picture for you. The lord of the manor, the Surrey Hills, this beautiful countryside mansion. It's a sex hotel basically. And I think for me, it was just kind of like build a reader up, like this Ava thinks she's going to, do interior design for this lovely, spa hotel or something. And this lord of the manor who, is anything but a cigar smoking, brandy drinking, overweight, English gent. He's an absolute sex god. And it was just kind of like the contrast really for me. It was so thrilling to even knowing everything as I was writing, but Ava didn't. And, just watching her slowly fathom all of this out until the, spoiler alert, sorry, the, pinnacle moment at the end when it all falls into place for her, and to the reader as well, because at that point, the reader's clueless, So it's kind of like, oh.
I remember being shocked in the best of ways.
I'm curious because my first time that I read it, I didn't know I didn't know what the manor was. I don't know what you guys thought, but the first time I read it, I was like reading this whole thing. I was like, oh, he's in the mafia. He's like.
You were guessing the whole time. You were like, what is the secret?
And then I was like, no, he's a vampire. No, he's like.
Tosca, someone messaged me about that. Asked me if he was a vampire.
Yeah.
Because he revealed his age, and I was like, why do people think he's a vampire?
Because you don't know. I was shocked, but I was like, yes, this is great.
Next book, please.
But it is it was one of those things where I was like, I just can't guess what he does. I just go, why is everything so secretive? Why is everything so great? Why don't we know his age?
yeah, his age too.
I was lucky to read the series after all the books or almost all the books had come out. At least the first 3 had come out. I feel so bad for the people who read your book, fell in love with it, but then had to wait for the second one.
No, not possible.
Cliffhanger, an absolute monster cliffhanger.
So evil, so evil.
I hate mail because of that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we're going to be expecting that too then when we make the movie. So you better start working on script number 2 because Much like Gabriel's Inferno, if I don't start the next one right away, it's going to be I think Passionflix is going to get hate mail.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another spoiler warning, but there is a question. Is there a particular scene you are looking forward to seeing come to life from this man? And this is for everybody.
Well, I don't mind going first.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Time. There's a few. I mean, all of them, obviously. But there's a few as I was writing the script, and it was so wonderful to do that. Thank you, Tosca, for letting me, because it was like I went back 10 years to when I was writing the book for the first time, and I was writing these scenes and I had the biggest grin. I must have looked like a complete wacko because I was just grinning from ear to ear the whole time. One of the scenes in particular that really captured me again, that made me smile so hard, was when he raids her office. So she's like trying to avoid him, and then he swaggers into her office and sits down, and he wants to make an appointment, and she's just like, no. And then he gets her diary and he starts going through her diary and just crossing out every day and writing his name across it. And like, she's like, what are you doing? And he's just like so cool and just looks up and just like, I'm making my appointments. And she's just like, you can't do this. And he's like, oh, I can. I just love that. And I think she's sitting there staring at him across the desk. Her work colleagues are everywhere, and she just doesn't know what to do because he's just got he's so ballsy, and he just does not care when it comes to her. And I think that's the moment where she's just like, oh God, this guy just does not care.
Well, I think that he cares too much for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's questionable at times, but for most people, I know that he is very Marmite, Jesse. But for most people, they see that. And Ava is such a strong woman, because any woman who can stay in that relationship and want to help that person, because no normal man acts that possessively. She's slowly breaking down all these layers of steel to get to the softness, because she knows it's there. Yeah. He shows it all the time in various things he does. He's just got an absolute, he's just terrified of going back to his hedonistic, unfulfilled, dark pit of misery. And she is that little glimmer of hope and light that can get him out of that. And losing that again just makes him off the charts.
Yeah,
as we know.
Yeah.
I'm excited for any scene where they're digging.
Sorry, Lauren?
Sorry. I'm excited for any scene where they're digging deep. Like, you just write so many great scenes of them together. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I think Ava is one of the strongest characters, female characters that we have. I love that she's just as strong as Jessie. And what I think is so cool is that while, yes, he's going through that and he's saying, I'm taking over your calendar. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? But if she really didn't want that, she would have stopped it. And she would have said no. Yeah. And I have no doubt in my mind that Ava would have been like, no, go away.
Yeah.
She is strong, but she does. And she's just as drawn to Jessie as Jessie is drawn to her. And so they are as those two characters, those two people that are so connected, that they have to figure out the right way of being together, because they have to be together. Yeah. So that's a really cool thing to.
She gives him a run for his money.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And she like the whole countdown thing, she gets a sixth sense of excitement, because she's just goading him. Come on then, what have you got? Give it to me. And he knows that as well. And they just bounce off each other in that way.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm getting all emotional talking about it.
I'm just ready to hear 3, 2, 1, 0, baby.
Can you imagine when he says that for the first time?
That's got to be one of the tests. That's got to be one of the tests in casting, is to have him say that line.
Yeah.
Every woman in a 1,000-mile radius will drop.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think the thing that I'm most scared about filming is the very first sex scene. So
Yeah.
Fair.
So yeah, that's when I was writing that, I was tweaking bits here and there because we can't do that. And I know, and that was one of the benefits for me after being on the set of The Protector. I learned a lot what works, and not because it can't work. Sometimes it can't work, but sometimes things that translate in books don't always translate on screen. And sometimes it can be cringy, or it could be awkward, or whatever. So that was really helpful for me when it came to writing sexy times.
Yeah. Scripts, but we've chatted about this before on our podcast, but the sexy times for scripts are very different than sexy times in book, because in a book we need to be able to imagine everything, and we want to really picture every sort of moment, and you can say certain things, like there are certain lines that that one person can say to the other person, and in a book it's very helpful. But on screen, in film, you can't. It feels, I think Christy Bromberg said the same thing about Driven. It's like, you can't say these lines. There are actually some lines we really don't want to say, because we say those in those work really well in the books, because we picture the scene and we picture the person saying that. But when you actually see the person saying that, or see them describing something, it's very awkward, and there's no amount of direction or actor performance can get us through some of those.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also you're seeing it, and you're seeing the facial expressions, you're seeing the movement, the angles that the cameraman's getting, what the director's telling them to do, and that's giving you everything. I think there was something in The Protector, actually, in one of the sex scenes, and you looked at me as it was said, and I went, get it out. It was just like, you were thinking the exact same. It was just like, no, get out.
I actually remember, so one of the sex scenes that takes place in The Protector is when Jake comes to Camille's mom's home and catches her in the bathroom, and he takes her to the bathroom, and they have sex in the bathroom, and in the book it's written in a very specific way, and I came to Jody and I said, hey Jody, so this is going to be very weird to film. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like in real life as I bend over here and do certain things, and then I'm gonna ask you if we can adjust it slightly because it's not gonna look good.
I think that's the one that we rewrote when we went back. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The problem we've got is that Jessie talks a lot during sex.
Great. There's sometimes you kind of want to be talked through it, but sometimes if he talks during sex, sometimes it'll. I just watched an episode of Outlander, which I love. I love Outlander, and there was one scene where Jamie is just talking through what he's going to do to her when they get the chance to do it. And it is so sexy. They don't actually do the kiss, subtle touching, but they don't actually do anything. And he just talks her through the entire thing. You're like, wow, that felt great. So it should work. We'll just figure it out. We'll find our way through it.
Yeah, we will.
Incredible. I have a couple of questions from our lovely founding members, and then I think we can wrap it up. Kathy asked, did you take anything from the Protector set?
Me?
Yeah, you, Jody.
Sorry.
Yeah, these are all for you, Jody.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, they're all for me. Okay. God, yeah, lots. And I think we've talked about much of it.
Did you
did you take like something specific from set? Like, did you steal a prop or like a piece of?
Oh, did I steal something?
No. We'll happily give it to you.
Take a souvenir.
You take a souvenir. Yeah.
Oh, no. I thought you meant, did I take any sort of, knowledge and. Okay, so she asked if I've stolen anything. Actually, I did have one of the so in one of the opening scenes where Jake's running on Butler Wharf, and he gets his coffee from the barista, and then he goes outside and he gets his morning newspaper. Oh, yeah. So there was about 10 of those morning newspapers made, because every time we had to do a new take, we had to use a new newspaper because Dermot was screwing it up and throwing it in the bin as he walked past. So I remember going to the bin and taking one out and keeping it.
Oh, did you really? That's awesome.
I love that.
And I was just like flattening it out because I was just like, got his coffee in one hand and he just crumples it up in his big hand. I'm like, don't crumple it up.
Oh my gosh, brilliant.
I think also what people don't know, a little thing on production, is that Jake's car is actually your car.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
But you kept the car.
Yeah, we used my car, and I remember it was so funny when we were in. I can't remember. It was Jake's wife's sister's house, and it's the scene where Cammy turns up at the end, and he's in the house with his sister-in-law, and she runs off and she jumps in the car and speeds away, and Dermot had to turn the car away in a high-speed kind of fashion, and he scraped my wheels all the way down.
I know that. Oh my God.
And I just stood there, and then you called Kurt. He got out the car and was so angry with himself, and he come up to me and he was like, I'm really sorry. Just like, don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
That was
so damn
crazy day. It was raining and all sorts of.
It was raining. He had to turn the car around in a really tight spot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't be sorry. It was funny because I knew that it was going to make him really angry. So, but yeah.
Very Jake. I remember him getting the car, and he had to rush really fast, but your car, it's like ding, 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 and everything has to, it's so automated. She's like, I'm gonna rush. Hang on, the seat has to be reset. The steering wheel comes down.
Yeah.
It's like
my car made him so angry.
Can the car go? And he's like, I can't make it move because I have to wait for everything to, like, the car to
He kept forgetting to turn the ignition off every time he got out. Press a button, so he'd get out and slam the door, and the engine would still be running. I was just like, oh God.
Oh dear.
He hated my car.
So another founding member question is, are you a plotter or a pantster type of writer?
I'm both.
You're both, okay.
I start with the best of intentions and I plot. I've got actually my latest journal here, and at the beginning it's like all, it's all nice and neat and it's listed, and then the characters take me somewhere else, and before you know it, all of my plotting's gone to pot and I'm suddenly just writing. So yeah, I'm both.
Nice.
I'm both. Yeah.
And Lucy asks, what's your proudest moment from within your career? It's a pretty big question.
Wow.
Oh God, there's so many. The ultimate moment for me has to be hitting the number one on the New York Times.
Yeah, that was huge.
Absolutely. It was 11 o'clock at night because obviously being in the UK, my publisher was in New York. I was an unknown. No one knew who I was. This man got picked up and republished, and I remember the phone ringing, my house phone ringing at like 11:30 at night. And I was just like, who on earth? Because it hadn't even entered my head that, I mean, I later learned that my agent and my publisher and editor were all placing bets on where it would hit on the list because they were that confident, but they didn't tell me. So I answered the phone to the publisher of the publishing house, Beth de Guzman, who is a wonderful lady. And she's just like, we just, guess where you got. Like, oh God, anywhere on that list would be amazing. And she's just like, how about number one? And I was just like, and and then I just heard cheering in the background, like the office, and I was just so stunned. And I remember ringing my mum, and I was in my pajamas, and I rang mum, and mum only lived like a quarter of a mile away from me. And she, next minute, she was like running through my back door with her pajamas, crying, because it'd been such a whirlwind. I'd only told my mum and dad that I'd actually written a book, a few months before that.
Wow.
So it was all a bit, and then all of a sudden, like, I've got this title that, it's beyond your wildest imagination. And a part of me, and my agent always tells me off, to thinking like this, but part of me feels a little bit guilty about it because there's so many established writers out there who have written dozens and dozens of books, and that's the aim, that's the dream, get to number one on New York Times, and I did it by accident, and that pretty much. So it's got to be the proudest moment for me. Incredible.
That's really amazing.
And Jesse got me there.
Yeah. Well, I really hope that we can work with you to do justice to it, and
absolutely. I know you.
I'm so excited. That's a beautiful story.
Beautiful story. I know. I kind of just want to end on that. I think we might have to end on that. So thank you again, Jody, for joining us. It was so lovely to have you on and to talk about all things Protector and this man. I think people are going to be really excited. And we'll see you, very soon when all this is over.
Very soon. Hopefully we'll see you this summer.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
So nice to see you again.
Bye.
Lots of love to you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Jody.
Oh, I love her.
Just love that story.
I know, and you can see tears coming in her eyes.
I know. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
The pressure's on us now, guys.
It is. And I just want to add on, just remember to go on and use the hashtag Finding Jessie Ward and help us by tagging who you think would be a good fit. Let's make sure that they're tall. Let's give them, maybe help us out with some blonde hair and green eyes. That would be good.
And let's also make sure that they can act.
Yeah,
so
yes,
no
actors,
models.
please.
No models, no fitness professionals.
Yes.
Actors. And also, we're not going to get Charlie Hunnam or Alexander Skarsgård.
Exactly.
So let's find people that you've seen before in other movies or other series that are, not A-list actors who are not booked for the next 5 years.
Right.
Right.
But who can really portray Jesse. Let's find, in the same way that we found Julio to play Gabriel, let's find out Jesse.
Perfect. All right, lovely. Do follow that hashtag and comment any questions you have in the video below. And I believe the next person we will have on next week will be Christy Bromberg.
Awesome.
Very exciting. We'll talk all things driven, fueled, and crashed, and it'll be a great time. So thanks, guys. And
thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.